Alright guys, Jack here, JBF Music and Guitar Lessons. What I've got for you today are these 4 signature Paul Gilbert string skip guitar licks with tabs, which are up on patreon.com/JBF Music if you want to copy the tabs for yourself. If you want a playthrough of these with no talking, give the eye up there, click. But this video is going to be more focused on technique, tips, and maybe a little bit of music theory as well. Bit of an experiment splitting what would usually be one video into 2, so any comments or thought, let me know. Positive or negative, good or bad, feedback's just good to have. I'll try to put these in ascending difficulty, these licks, but yeah, at this level it's not exactly a walk in the park. We have 3 shapes on each string. Using a lot of legato, I'm starting on an up, down, up, pull off, pull off. I don't want to tangent into a full-blown legato lesson, so I'll link to a comprehensive one with the eye up there. But I do find that not anchoring my first finger, it really helps keep this tension free and smooth. On the G string, I'm going down, up, down, hammers. You might have noticed a little 5 in the tab. What we're doing is 5 notes in the space of 4. Again, a tutorial on playing this and counting this kind of beat can be found with the eye in the corner. In a nutshell, it feels a bit staggered in comparison to the previous 5 notes. Hopping back to the E string where we do the same as before. Then we're on to the B string where we start on a down, but it's just the same shape as we did on the E string. So you're going to go down, up, down, hammer, hammer. So same as the G string in terms of picking, same as the E string in terms of the shape. So keep it slow, loop it, let the speed build, but try to retain that kind of clear note definition. When it's comfortable. Can't speak when doing this on. Add some speed. Quick theory, we're in A flat major. If you think of this bar chord, what we're really doing is outlining this part of it. Alright, really similar to the last lick, but with more picking. It does really add to the vibe of the lick, but as ever, feel free to use legato if needed. Again, I start on an up, down, up, legato. There's just less chance of me knocking into the B string by mistake if I do that. Then starting on a down, alternate pick on the G string, so down, up, down, up, down. And continue that same picking pattern. So we're going to go up, down, up, pull off, pull off. Then onto the B string, only this time picking those notes. Alongside the picking, a pretty hefty palm mute on the G and the B strings will sound great here. You might notice my hand is doing more of a Paul Gilbert style grip, well worth trying out. For me at least, it's the most efficient way of getting that kind of tight, percussive muted sound. And just like the last lick, I'm really trying to let my fingers move and not anchor anything down. If the picking is giving you bother, try making an exercise where you just loop this part, picking the notes and hopping over. Then start to bring in the palm muting when it feels kind of smooth. You're teaching your hands the mechanics of picking and hopping over the string. So when you try the lick again, try to lock back into this feeling and the muscle memory you've created. Final tip I can give if this feels too tough is check out the video up there on Paul Gilbert's triplet technique. It's basically this idea but using triplets on adjacent strings. A great foot in the door to his style of playing. Theory wise, we're in A minor, I'm using the harmonic minor. It'll work over an A minor, but I really like the sound of this over an E major or E dominant 7. The 5 chord and the harmonic minor. If you look at the notes, we're sort of outlining an E power chord. Albeit an inverted one. So despite using all the notes of the scale, to my ears, there's still an implied harmony. Okay, first up, keep as relaxed as you can. If you have a fairly short reach like myself, then try not to anchor your hand wherever possible. Then mentally map out the shape. It's a C minor arpeggio. Next, the rhythm is kind of syncopated, so let's go one bar at a time. Bar 1, which I'm going to alternate pick, start on an upstroke. Really just going down and up the arpeggio. The second half is where the disjointed timing kicks in. If you're enjoying this, please do consider dropping a like and a comment. You have no idea how incredibly helpful it is for the channel. As ever, if you want to see more of this kind of thing, make sure to subscribe and enable all notifications or ringing the bell so you don't miss out on new content. The second half of that bar, do that again. Back together. Down and back up the arpeggio. You'll notice I'm not anchoring or barring my first finger here. You might be able to. All this does for me is kind of creates unnecessary tension. More on how to reduce some of that when you're playing with the eye in the corner. The second half, I switch up my picking. I still hit the 12th fret on a downstroke, pull off, and I hit the 13th fret on the G with a down as well, pull off, hammer on, up on the E string, down on the B, pull off, ready to start the lick again on an upstroke. You might find a better way, but this is what works best for my hands. The other tricky thing here is rolling your finger to get that 11th fret on the E string. I tried using my third finger, but rolling, which I generally don't like, is proven to be much more successful and consistent. So here's a look at the picking from a different angle. So you can see it's alternate until that final bit. Here's extra down. You might notice I've also switched to the classical position here, which with these kind of wider stretches, it's just a little bit easier for me to get. Quick theory rundown, like I mentioned, this is a C sharp minor arpeggio. So we got C sharp, E, G sharp, C sharp, E. Then he adds in the 9th and the 4th. So this will work in a Dorian or Aeolian context. Okay, final arpeggio. This is from Scarified. There are a few kind of subtle variations Paul does in terms of timing on this signature pattern. For a breakdown of those, give the eye up there a click. Again, I'm not anchoring my fingers here. Map out each bar. So we've got this shape to begin with. The way I pick this, again, try it different ways, is up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, up, down. Rather than a full-on floating Gilbert, what I'm doing is often resting my little finger on the scratch plate here for a bit of an anchor reference point. I'm torn as to whether using the tip of my third finger or flattening it out for this bit of legato on the E string. So that's the tip, flattening it out. Which one feels better? I think bending the knuckle is slightly better, but I'm not certain, and as ever, you do you. But same as before, get this feeling comfortable and clean at a slower tempo. And let that muscle memory build. If the stretch is too much, try it further up the fretboard where the notes are closer together. We play that bar twice, so you go through this arpeggio. Then on to the next beast. So it starts on the same note, then morphs into this symmetrical, diminished shape, so watch out for that. It's the same timing and picking as before, just with a much nastier stretch really. You can see I'm really not anchoring my first finger at all here. If I was, just about make it, but it's going to be pure slop. If I could, I totally would, but there's just too much tension in my hand when I do. The sort of good news is that after we play through that once, take the symmetrical shape and just bump it up 3 semitones for the next bar. So same as before. But just hammer on those last notes. I think Paul catches the 16th fret. I can't be certain, it might just go straight to there, but I think it's in there as a sort of grace note. I tend to use the notes on the E and the G strings as markers, so for the first arpeggio, I'm thinking about these two. Yep. As I say, you start off on here for the second arpeggio. This one's the same. Then I suppose the one on the E drops by a semitone. Then I'm thinking of these two for the final arpeggio. And believe it or not, these are all arpeggios. A final blast of theory. This first one is an A flat minor 7. Going from the lowest note, we have the flat 3rd, flat 7th, root, flat 3rd, 5th, flat 7th, root. You could add in this root on the A's 11th fret, the flat 7th, 5th on the E's 14th and 11th frets, if you wanted to extend it a little bit. So instead of just going there, you could have... Then it's a D diminished chord starting out in the flat 9, then sticking to the chord tones. From low to high, we have the double flat 7th, which I'm just going to call the 7th for shorthand, flat 3rd, flat 5th, 7th, root, flat 3rd, flat 5th, and then we're up here. It's the same chord. From high to low, we've got the flat 3rd, root, 7th, flat 5th, root. With the two higher notes, we eventually go to being the flat 5th and the 7th. Click there for more Paul Gilbert signature licks, or there for useful string skipped arpeggios. But yeah, hit the subscribe button to keep up to date with the channel. Leave me any suggestions, check out the tabs on Patreon, and enable all notifications by ringing that little bell on the side if you feel so inclined. Cheers, guys.